From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday, September the 10th. The story this morning is the fog. As you can see, this is a live look. This fog will slow down your commute. This is a live look from downtown Indianapolis. Already one school district east of Indianapolis, Jay County Schools, are now on a 2-hour delay. Welcome in on this Thursday morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez coming to you live from our Johnson County studio. Nicole Griffin and meteorologist Todd Clausen standing by in Studio A as we cover this fog situation from every angle this morning right here on Good Morning Indiana. Nicole, good morning to you.
Rafael, good morning. And Todd, I tweeted out a few photos that we've been showing, and a friend just said, hey, I better leave a few minutes early for work this morning.
Yeah, you know, you definitely have to. Give yourself some extra time. This fog is becoming more widespread. It's becoming more dense in areas. And as I show you the visibilities in just a second, there's some areas where visibility is not an issue, but then you just drive 10 miles down the road and you run into virtually no visibility. This is the weather now. A camera in Greencastle, DePaul University, and you can see the visibility reduced, especially when you look here at the lights across campus. And here are the visibility numbers. And again, I always tell you this, these are a lot of numbers, I know. But what you really have to focus on is the visibility is down below 1 mile. That's when you start having difficulty on the roads driving. And you notice to the west of Indianapolis, there's a lot of locations here with visibility below 1 mile. 0.2 of a mile as you work your way towards Muncie. Then you get up towards Jay County. That's where the school delay is. But you look here in Greenfield over towards Newcastle, Shelbyville, the visibility not as bad. It's reduced a little bit more from the last hour. So that just shows you this fog is expanding just a little bit. There is a dense fog advisory for many counties to the north. Even if you're outside of the advisory, though, just know there's reduced visibility that will be present in your neighborhood or for your commute if you do have to get out of the house within the next hour or two. Temperatures are in the 60s. We deal with partly cloudy skies. The rain stays off to our west today once this fog burns off this morning, which will happen fairly quickly once the sun comes up. Then it turns into a pretty nice day with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures climbing through the 70s this morning, and highs eventually, Nicole, going to be topping off in the low 80s.
Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look outside this morning. We are monitoring your morning commute on this Thursday. And the good news, despite the fog we are telling you about, we are not monitoring any crashes or delays right now. This is a live look for I-65 near St. Clair Street. But it is just some good advice for you. Take a few extra minutes as you head out the door this morning. There's good news for unemployed Hoosiers this morning. An extra $300 in unemployment payments will start going out on September 21st. The Department of Workforce Development Commissioner answered questions about the money during the state's weekly news conference on the pandemic. Because of the way the federal funding is structured, it's possible that it could run out before everyone who is eligible gets a payment.
We've been working with FEMA and the Department of Labor to try to address this issue. We're making sure that we try to get as many claimants paid and updated as possible, and we're going to try to address that issue as it arises. I can't give you a definite answer on that right now, other than our goal is to ensure that every Hoosier who's eligible will receive the $300 benefit.
The department is still working on the infrastructure to make those payments. Rafael.
Nicole, since the pandemic began, many Hoosier families, as you know, are struggling financially, not only to take care of themselves, but their pets as well. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning from Fortville with one woman who is working to make a difference. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rafael. So it all started with a Facebook post asking if anyone needed help feeding their animals during this pandemic. And now that Fortville woman is she's helping to feed animals in other towns, but also helping to get them spayed and neutered. Kelly Donnelly has a heart for animals, and during the COVID-19 crisis, she heard stories of many families struggling to feed themselves and their pets. Some even contemplating surrendering their animals to shelters or new owners. She says she wanted to do what she could to help families stay together and be there to support anyone who needs it.
They don't have to tell me their story. They don't have to tell me why they're asking for food. But if they contact me and they want to talk, I'm absolutely here to talk. And it's unbelievable, some of the things these folks go through. And I feel like listening and sitting down and being there for them, that does probably and hopefully make a difference.
When she put the call out on Facebook asking people if they needed help, Donnelly tells me more people reached out saying they wanted to help too. Now she has tons of pet food ready for anyone who needs it. So if you are someone who is in need of pet food or getting your animals spayed or neutered or other medical treatments that they might need, Donnelly wants to help you, and we've got all of her information linked for you over on the WRTV News app or on WRTV.com. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Today marks a day of awareness as this is World Suicide Prevention Day. According to the World Health Organization, close to 800,000 people in the world die from suicide every year. We talked to one Indianapolis man, Marcus Watts, who now speaks to others about his darkest days to bring awareness. He struggled with his mental health after the deaths of some of his friends and alcohol addiction. He wants people to know it's important to seek help and that you are not alone.
If you feel like you're alone and in your mind it's just repeating that, it's telling you that, like, you don't need to reach out to anyone because they're not going to understand you. Your parents won't understand, your friends won't understand. That feeling of being alone, it's a lie.
This morning, our media partners at Radio 1 will stop the music on 5 Indianapolis radio stations starting at 10 a.m. to observe World Suicide Prevention Day. During that time, Watts and others will help highlight mental health issues. You can listen on the stations listed here. Our Rebound Indiana initiative has been sharing with you mental health resources and tips since the pandemic began. Anyone in the state can dial 211 to access help, and you can find links to organizations like the Bowen Center right now at WRTV.com/rebound. Raphael.
You could always depend on hiring Hoosiers. Our commitment, Nicole, here daily to really highlight jobs and training programs available right now. And one program is set to help more people become pilots. And here are the details this morning. The Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals is looking to help more young people turn their dreams into careers in aviation. Ryan Lynch is a pilot, and he says they have shortages in the industry, especially with traffic control towers, pilots, and mechanics. He and others are using their stories and success to show youth the possibilities the field has to offer.
My journey started, I was 16, so almost 30 now, so I've been doing it for a while. Got my license when I was 18. I was still in high school, so I quit basketball to become a pilot. I figured out this is what I want to do.
I've always wanted to be a pilot. When I was 5 years old, I took my first flight to Disney when I went down to Orlando, Florida. And I went into the airplane and I said, wow, I heard a bunch of bells and whistles. And I said, I want to look up front. And that's what I actually want to do.
And you can find more details on aviation opportunities when you go to this story right now on our website, WRTV.com.
A local organization is giving girls the skills and confidence they need to succeed. Coming up, a look at what's being offered and the impact on those who attend. Todd.
It's been all about the fog here this morning across central Indiana. Many counties under a dense fog advisory. Here's a live look behind me in Speedway, looking back towards downtown Indianapolis, and you can see the fog settling in here in Speedway, looking off towards the east with the distance there. As you look into the lights, you can see the visibilities are reduced. We'll talk about where the fog's the thickest, how long it's going to stick around, and look ahead to the rest of your Thursday forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:12. This is a live look outside this morning at I-70 at Post Road, where you can see the visibility reduced by the thick fog this morning. So far, it is not causing any delays on the roadways, and there are no crashes to report as of right now. WRTV's Hiring Hoosiers is connecting Hoosiers of all ages with tools that can lead them to successful careers.
Yes.
Girl Talk Incorporated is a mentorship and empowerment program for girls ages 10 through 18.
WRTV's Amanda Starantino shows you how their efforts are helping girls make the best career choices.
Those are things that your counterparts are already doing.
This is a room full of young girls with big goals.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A dermatologist.
I want to be a scientist, but mostly a chemist.
I want to go to IUPUI, and I want to be a social worker.
And there is one woman who has made it her mission to make sure Indianapolis girls have what they need to make their dreams a reality. With her organization, Girl Talk Incorporated.
Our goal is to provide girls in this community with the tools, education, and resources and life skills that they need so when they go out in this world to try to navigate it, they won't be like a deer in the headlights.
Sonia Cook organizes 8-week courses throughout the year focusing on specific topics to ensure girls and teens have the knowledge to make educated choices now and in the future. Girl Talk covers career skills, college, sex education, and self-confidence, to just name a few. In this specific class today, the girls are learning about finances.
Financial literacy is not taught in all schools. And when you grow up in the urban community, you are not getting this financial education. And I felt that it was important for girls to understand that if you understand finances at an early age, you can make responsible decisions.
For Sonia, this mission is personal because she has lived it.
So I was a teen mom. I had 3 kids by the time I was 18 years old, and I was kind of lost. And I didn't have somebody to talk to. And I didn't want another girl to feel like that or go through that when there are people like me and other people that want to be there for young girls.
What shines through her mission of Girl Talk is creating connections for girls who may not have them at home.
I'm not really good at communicating, really, because of like younger childhood trauma and stuff, and it's kind of difficult. I like it. I think that Miss Sonia actually listens and that she really does want us to succeed.
It's a space for young girls to learn a little more about themselves too.
I learned that my voice can speak up a little bit more louder and that I am really confident in lots of different things. I just gotta find my confidence and find the road that I need to travel on more and be more braver and be more wise.
It just makes you feel better about yourself. This class makes me feel like I can succeed in life and I can actually go somewhere when I get older and get out of high school. Before this class started, I didn't really like talking in front of a lot of people, and I was really shy, but Miss Sonia helped me speak out and show my voice, and I want to be able to help girls my age around the world too.
Girl Talk is an opportunity for young Hoosier girls to learn life lessons that are not always taught in school and empower these girls to become successful women on whatever path they choose to take.
And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, blue, or green. All of us women go through a lot of the same things. And so, we want to make sure that girls are confident when they go out here in this world. We want to make sure that they have the knowledge and the skills that they need to be successful. We want to make sure that they have self-love. We want to make sure that they have self-worth. We want to make sure that they are confident in the decisions that they make.
So let's support Girl Talk and Girl Power. That was Amanda Starantino reporting. The next 8-week session begins this weekend. It is $25 per girl for the entire 2 months, which covers several things: the courses, lunches, and a Girl Talk gift bag at the end of the session. To learn more about Girl Talk, sign up for a session, or maybe donate or possibly volunteer, check out this story on our website, WRTV.com. It is now time to check your forecast. Our meteorologist Todd Clausen has been tracking fog throughout the morning, and this is a live look right now on Main Street in Fortville in Hancock County. As you can see, Todd, based on those street lights, it is somewhat hard to see, but of course, hopefully this will all burn off here shortly.
It's going to take a little while now that the sun's not coming up until well after 7 o'clock. We're going to deal with these visibility issues a little bit longer. Raphael, Fortville, actually one of the areas where we're not seeing the worst of visibility. Behind me, you see obviously next to nothing. I posted a picture on my Twitter and Facebook page just about 45 minutes ago, and you could see the top of the One America building. Obviously, you cannot see that now, so it just shows you that the fog is getting a little more dense across the area. So here are your travel issues from Indy, at least on the interstates, that I want to highlight for you. I-70 westbound, it's going to be a rough go from now through about 7 o'clock. Things should start to get better as we push into the 8-9 o'clock hour. I-74 from Indy towards Crawfordsville, really rough with low visibilities. Again, gets a little bit better as we work our way throughout the 8 to 9 o'clock hour. Then I-65 northbound visibility is not quite as bad as you head towards Lafayette and then eventually Chicago. And again, obviously, as the sun comes up, things will start to get better by the 9 o'clock hour. The one area where we're not dealing with reduced visibility all that much, probably easier to highlight that for you than show you where we are dealing with reduced visibility. That's through Greenfield over towards Newcastle and to the Richmond area, Shelbyville. Still reduced visibility a little bit, but obviously not as thick as a lot of these areas where we're down below 1 mile to the north and to the west of Indianapolis. Dense fog advisory for all the counties you see here in gray. This goes on until 8 o'clock to the east and 9 o'clock for most of the counties north and west of Indy. So bottom line is just got to give yourself some extra time here this morning. Couple school delays out there, but not super widespread at this point. But that's something we'll keep you apprised of as we go throughout the rest of Good Morning Indiana and then into Good Morning America as well. 60s across the area temperature-wise. The cooler air off to our west. Look at that Minneapolis temperature right now, 38 degrees. We never tap into that real cold air, but we will have more seasonable temperatures in the forecast for the next couple days. Temperatures this morning hold steady with the clouds and the fog that are in place. Eventually, we'll see these temperatures climb up into the low 80s. We'll have more clouds to the north throughout the day today, more sunshine to the south. And as I mentioned, those temperatures today will be topping off in the low 80s for most of us. We're just going to have to be patient while this fog starts to burn off. And throughout the day, the further north you are, the trend will be for more in the way of clouds compared to southern locations, which should have more in the way of sunshine. Pretty seasonable high temperature today, right around 82 degrees. Let's go over to your 7-day planning forecast tomorrow. A mixture of sun and clouds, 77. The weekend, a little bit warmer. Some spotty storms possible Saturday into Sunday. But then a beautiful stretch of weather, Nicole, as we head into next week.
Todd, thank you. And the fog is thicker in some parts of the viewing area than it is in others. This is a live look on the northwest side. This is our traffic camera on I-465 at West 46th Street. It is not quite as foggy here right now, but you can see traffic is getting heavier this morning in that area. The good news, there are no crashes to report right now on the interstates.
So the Kansas City Chiefs will kick off their season tonight with some visible statements on their field. The words "end racism" have been printed in the end zone at one end at Arrowhead Stadium. On the opposite end of the red zone, you'll see the words that read, "It takes all of us." This message comes after a long summer of Black Lives Matter protests and calls to end police brutality. All 32 NFL teams are participating in the effort to support social justice this season. The Chiefs will take on the Houston Texans tonight at 8:20. Nicole?
Walmart is working toward making it easier to shop from home. The major retailer has launched a drone delivery pilot program. Right now, testing is underway in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It is focusing on delivering household essential items and certain grocery products. The drones are controlled via the cloud. Officials at Walmart say it will be a while before millions of products will be delivered by drones. Amazon has also been working on getting drone delivery.
So it is the end of time for a very popular TV show. AMC is saying goodbye to their hit show, The Walking Dead. The hit show has been around since 2010 and was once considered the most watched television program. Now, it won't be gone for a couple more years, so you have some time. The network says the series will wrap up in 2022. The final 11th season will have 24 episodes that will air over 2 years. While the main Walking Dead series will be gone, guess what? AMC is creating a spin-off scheduled to premiere in 2023.
Apple's ready to unveil its new tech, but we might not get a glimpse of the new iPhone just yet. Coming up, a look at what may be holding up the new release.
Taking a live look outside, it may be hard to see as you're driving out and about. This is a live look of the One America Tower. Believe us, it's there. 2 schools already calling in some delays. Jay Community Schools and Westdale Schools, 2-hour delays. Don't worry, your TV's okay. That's just the fog in Indianapolis. For Zionsville, Noblesville, and Columbus, you're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on this foggy morning on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We continue to monitor the Thursday morning fog across central Indiana. A dense fog advisory continues for parts of the WRTV viewing area. This is a live look toward downtown Indianapolis. The fog isn't expected to burn off until sunrise next hour. We will get an update from meteorologist Todd Clausen coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we want to get to the stories trending this morning here at 6 o'clock.
So last month, Nicole, you had a birthday, so happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Of course, Lauren had a birthday, I had a birthday. But this guy had us beat, okay? This guy, listen, he wins. A 100-year-old man from Illinois is now the oldest scuba diver ever. Bill Lambert broke his own record by taking the plunge into Pearl Lake yesterday. Now, this is the third year in a row that he has broken the world record. Lambert says his goal is to stay in shape and break it again next year when he turns 101 years young. You go, Mr. Lambert. You got it.
You got it. Good for you. Well, dozens of kids will have new bikes to ride this fall thanks to an IMPD officer. Officer Zane Henning he loves riding bikes as a kid, and it inspired him to start a fundraiser. IMPD says he raised around $8,000, and so far 15 bikes have been purchased and will be given to kids here in this area. Henning also plans to buy helmets, Raphael, for the kids to help them ride safely. Love that
and
story.
I hope he does that until, and I'm hoping that he does it until he's 101 years old as well. So you go, Officer Zane, good for you. And congratulations to another officer, Marlon Seacrest. He's our hometown hero on this Thursday. Marlon is an officer with the Metropolitan Police Department for the past 19 years. We appreciate him and all the efforts of those in public safety and law enforcement throughout central Indiana. This morning, the big story is the fog. Good luck getting out there this morning, Todd Clausen, because it's hard to see depending on where you are in central Indiana.
Yeah, you know, at 4:30, the dense fog advisory was out. The fog was essentially just in some northern and western communities, but it's expanded here throughout the morning, and you can see this visibility to the north. Still a lot of locations below that 1 mile threshold, including Muncie, Fishers, Frankfort, over to Crawfordsville, Zionsville at 9/10 of a mile, Indianapolis at 1/10 of a mile, and then eventually Bloomington now starting to get into some fog down to 2/10 of a mile visibility. To Shelbyville, Rushville, Newcastle, the visibility not as bad, but the one biggest change that we've seen in the last half hour is Greenfield, now down to just over 1 mile visibility after having hardly any issues at all. There are some school delays out there, so make sure you check at WRTV.com for those or on the app. And then as we go throughout the day, it's going to take probably at about 9 o'clock to burn some of this fog off. But once we do, partly cloudy skies, Nicole, and temperatures near 80 degrees.
Todd, thank you. Next week, Apple is expected to unveil its newest gadgets, but the next iPhone may not be included. Consumer reporter John Matarese explains.
We could all use a break from bad news, and Apple plans to do that next week with its annual September product rollout. But will we really see a new iPhone? It's a rite of fall. Every September, Apple unveils the latest iPhone, MacBook, and iPad to adoring fans. But this pandemic year will look a lot different. No crowded auditorium and maybe no iPhone. Apple blogs and forums expect a new Apple Watch 6 and iPad Air 4. But they're still debating whether the anticipated iPhone 12 will be unveiled on September 15th due to so many COVID-related product delays. MacRumors.com shows an alleged leak of a cell carrier's Instagram post featuring a new iPhone 12 with 5G. If it's real. But 9 to 5 Mac says the new iPhone may not be unveiled until early October, not next week. Whatever happens next week, it will be a nice break from bad news and a sign that life will go on after the pandemic. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this foggy Thursday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Metro Police working to figure out the circumstances surrounding a body found in the White River. The remains were pulled from the water Wednesday afternoon near West and Raymond Streets on the south side. The identity of the person pulled from the water has not been released.
This morning, a jury is seated to hear the case of a southern Indiana man accused of killing his girlfriend and eating parts of her body. Joseph Oberhansley is accused in the murder of Tammy Jo Blanton in 2014. Prosecutors selected a jury out of Allen County. The case will be heard in Clark County. Opening statements are scheduled for tomorrow.
And this morning, a northern Indiana prison on lockdown after nearly 70 inmates and prison workers tested positive for COVID-19. The state health officials performed the rapid testing over the weekend. Before the weekend test, a total of 7 people had tested positive for the virus. National Guard have been helping operate the prison since August.
Legendary NASCAR driver Jimmie Johnson is making a move to IndyCar. Johnson is retiring from NASCAR full-time at the end of this season and plans to transition to IndyCar with Chip Ganassi Racing. The 7-time NASCAR champion is working to finalize sponsorship on a 2-year program with Ganassi. He would run IndyCar's road and street courses. No word yet on any plans to run in the Indy 500.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday, a very foggy one here in central Indiana. School buses are now rolling out and about through school zones, so please slow down and be patient. Nicole, good morning.
Raphael, good morning. And meteorologist Todd Klassen is standing by. And Todd, you kind of warned us at 4:30, telling us the fog may be an issue, and it's been kind of interesting to watch it change throughout the morning.
You know, that's the thing with visibility and fog. It changes as the morning goes on, and it has a lot of different variables. It could just drop a degree temperature-wise, and that allows the fog to settle in. The wind may kick up and disperse it. That's not the case here this morning. So we still maintain the same counties under this dense fog advisory, but this fog has definitely expanded and become more dense across parts of the area. Earlier this morning, you could see the One America Tower right over here on your screen. This view is from the top of the Salesforce Tower to the west, and now you essentially cannot see anything at all. So where the visibilities have dropped the most from where we were earlier this morning, Indianapolis, now over towards Greenfield, you're still above that 1-mile threshold, but the visibilities have dropped here further to the south over towards Bloomington. So this fog still is expanding off towards the east. So just give yourself some extra time on the roadways here this morning, knowing that the fog could change as you cross off the miles for your commute here this morning. We deal with it till about 9 a.m. After that, it should start to burn off, and we have a decent day for us going forward. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. The fog is causing a couple of school delays this morning. Jay Community Schools and West Dell Schools are on a 2-hour delay. Remember, you can keep track of school delays by downloading the WRTV app. And visibility still isn't great for parts of the viewing area this morning. Here is a live look out east. This is I-465 at Fall Creek Road. The fog not causing any problems on the road so far, and there are no crashes to report. We will keep you updated throughout the morning.
We will definitely keep you on top of those situations out there. Nicole, thank you so much. Since the pandemic started, many Hoosier families struggling financially, not only for themselves, but also to keep their pets in their home, members really of their family. This morning, WRTV's Kelsey Anderson is live in Fortville in Hancock County with the efforts happening there to make sure pets get to stay home with their family members. Good morning to you, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So for many people, they didn't know where their next meal would come from, let alone where their animal's next meal would come from. So thanks to a Fortville woman and the power of social media, they're keeping families together.
Are we going to feed us or are we going to feed the animals?
Shar Salverson has been out of work since March. She has several pets, and at one point, her family had to contemplate giving them away.
These animals have been a part of our lives for years, and they're like family members. It's not like they're just some inanimate object, you know, it's not like something you just take and drop off at Goodwill when you're done with it. It's a lifelong commitment.
But things changed when a stranger posted in the Fortville Happenings Facebook group asking if anyone needed help feeding their animals.
It was like, okay, God, you really do listen to prayers, because I had been just praying so much about how are we going to make this work? What, you know, give us an answer, help us through this, and boom, there was this post.
Do you know what you normally feed?
Kelly Donnelly is the author of that post, and since posting, has accidentally started a pet food pantry from her garage.
It's gotten bigger than I expected it to. So not only are we running it out of the garage, but we've been able to set up like Amazon wish lists or Chewy orders.
Donnelly tells me no matter what the need is, her and her network of rescuers can help.
The ultimate goal is that we can keep, loving pet owners with their pets even during, this crazy pandemic when folks are, many of which financially struggling.
As for Solverson, she says Donnelly saved her family.
My situation was I could afford my animals. COVID came, I lost my job. I can't afford my animals. I can't really afford much of anything, but those are my children. And those are important parts of remaining mentally healthy during all of this. And to lose that for some people really could be life-altering.
Now, Donnelly tells me whether you live in Fortville or not, she does want to help you if you need help feeding your animals or even getting them spayed or neutered. She can help. So please reach out to her. We've got her information over for you on the WRTV News app and on WRTV.com. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Great story. Kelsey, thank you so much. Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its impact on Hoosier families. This morning, state health officials confirming 720 new cases. Since the pandemic began, more than 101,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. State health officials also report 17 new coronavirus deaths. That means since March, nearly 3,200 Hoosiers have died with coronavirus. Taking a look now at the state's hospital resources this morning, 43% of the state's ICU beds are available, along with nearly 82% of the state's ventilators. After requests from parents, school districts, and other community members, the state is now one step closer to having a COVID-19 dashboard for schools.
That's right. So State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box is now giving some new insights on the proposed reporting system that parents and some schools and students want to see. She says they're testing an electronic reporting portal for schools right now. It should show a breakdown of cases by school. It will not only show, of course, it will not show specific ages or identities for privacy reasons. The goal is to help local school leaders make the best choices about e-learning or in-person classes for their own communities. During the Wednesday news briefing, she said she hopes that schools choose to participate and report the information through this new portal.
Currently, this is not a mandate. This will be a strong request from the Indiana Department of Health. I'm hoping that because the schools themselves and the teachers and superintendents and principals and other external community members are wanting to know this information, that our schools are going to be willing and happy to do this.
Dr. Box says a mandate could be possible down the line if schools are not reporting the cases.
36 additional COVID-19 testing sites are scheduled to open across Indiana by the end of the week. The State Department of Health is partnering with local health departments to add nearly 100 community testing sites. The state says it's investing more than $30 million to increase access to COVID testing over the next 2 years. Around 60 other locations are scheduled to open by October 1st.
Metro Police asking the city for a multi-million-dollar increase in next year's budget. Coming up, why department leaders say the extra cash is needed. And that story and much more on this foggy Thursday morning here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. A foggy start across central Indiana is causing a few school delays this morning. Jay Community Schools, Westdale Schools, and Daleville Schools are all on a 2-hour delay. Remember, you can keep track of school delays by downloading the WRTV app. And this is why some schools are holding off on classes this morning. This is a live look in downtown Indianapolis, where you can still see some of that fog hovering over the downtown area, and it won't be going anywhere until the sun comes up. So you might want to give yourself a few extra minutes, Raphael, to get to your destination this morning.
Slow down for those school buses. Please slow down. It may cost more money to provide public safety in Indianapolis, and so here are the details on that. Metro Police asking for a $7.7 million increase in its proposed 2021 budget. $2.7 million would be used for body cameras, leases, and legal settlements. About $1.1 million would be used for vehicles and equipment. But the largest portion, $3.3 million would cover personnel costs, including the full funding of 1,743 officers. IMPD Deputy Chief Valerie Cunningham says that the recruiting of new officers is vital to improving racial equity within the department.
The classes that we're recruiting, the diversity within those classes, the younger officers, the diversity of thought that goes along with it is your reform of this profession. Without the opportunity to aggressively recruit with a commitment that we are going to hire, that we are going to continue to bring new people onto this agency and onto this police department, that is where that is the biggest impact for looking at racial equity.
On the other side, several community members spoke out against that proposal, saying it does not address the actual concerns of the city.
The number one claim for equity in your budget is diversity in recruitment. You did not, however, list any concrete metrics for that recruitment in minority communities or with women. And we say, like the councilman said, the hope is a lot, which is not measurable or enforceable.
Just this year, IMPD murdered 3 people in just 8 hours. Seeing a budget that has an increase of over $7 million does not reflect the need for changed behavior. It just increases gear, technology, and surveillance for the community, which is not what the community is asking for.
This debate is not over. The committee will vote to approve the budget in October. After that, it will then go to the full council. Nicole?
Wildfires continue to burn in several states to our west. Still ahead, the latest on the efforts to contain the growing fires. Todd.
This morning, it's all about the dense fog here across central Indiana. These visibilities continue to drop in spots now. Down to 0 visibility in Fishers over towards the Muncie area, 0.3 of a mile. And then visibility in Indianapolis down to 1/10 and still below 1 mile as you work your way to the south. Dense fog advisories are posted. Eventually, we'll start to burn some of this fog off, but it may take a little while here this morning. Highs eventually to 80 degrees. We'll talk about not only today, but look ahead to your weekend as well coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:47. We are continuing to monitor the fog across our area. Here's a live look at I-70 and State Road 9 in Greenfield. Meteorologist Todd Clausen told us earlier that visibility had dropped in that area, and you can see that here from this live look. So far, though, the good news, no crashes or delays to report on the interstates. This morning, the historic wildfires continue to burn everything in their paths on the West Coast.
Nicole, as ABC's Kenneth Moten reports, just one fire, has carved a 25-mile path of destruction.
This morning, high winds and high heat fueling nearly 200 major fires on the West Coast. Some of them wiping out entire neighborhoods. New video near Portland, Oregon, showing rows of homes destroyed. These satellite images showing towns before and then after the fire.
This is insane.
Oh, you can feel it.
Oh my God, people, go.
Oregon's governor saying at least 35 large fires are burning across the state, warning the damages could be catastrophic.
This could be the greatest loss of human lives and property due to wildfire in our state's history.
Overnight, a 12-year-old boy and his grandmother identified as 2 of those victims from a wildfire south of Portland. The 2 disappeared early Tuesday after getting separated from their family as flames forced them to evacuate. The boy's father spoke to reporters earlier in the day when rescuers were still searching for them.
My family means everything to me.
And now, tragedy in Washington, where a 1-year-old has died near Spokane. Firefighters finding the family's severely burned truck near their home. The child's parents left in critical condition. In California, nearly 14,000 firefighters called to the front lines, fighting dozens of major wildfires. In the Bay Area, an apocalyptic orange-tinged sky. San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge barely visible in this picture, taken in the middle of the day. And now, hundreds of thousands of families facing the task of rebuilding their lives.
The house ain't even recognizable. It's just not, there's nothing. I'm so surprised that the people was able to get out of here alive, looking at what there is. It's hard to believe.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
All right, here in central Indiana, we've been dealing with reduced visibility this morning. The fog has continued to expand across parts of central Indiana. You see all the numbers here, and we'll point out some visibilities that are down below 1 mile. 7/10 in Crawfordsville, down to 0 in Fishers, 3/10 of a mile in Muncie. But I also want to point out, outside of the numbers, where obviously we have some readings coming in from, these real dark shaded areas of white in between where our readings are, that's where there's some really dense fog. So right over by the airport, then as you work your way from Fishers over towards the Pendleton area, and then just north of Muncie as well, some dense fog has settled in. For the east side of the state, Muncie over towards the Shelbyville area to Rushville, even into Richmond, you've had the best visibilities throughout the morning, but they're also starting to get reduced just a little bit. Here's the lack of view from the Salesforce Tower off towards the west. Earlier I posted a picture, and I thought it was a pretty good picture on my Facebook page. You can see the top of the Salesforce Tower, which the top of that at the tip is 613 feet. You could see that. Now you can't. So the fog bank has gotten thicker as far as from ground level to 800, 900 feet above the ground. So visibility is an issue here this morning. As we go throughout the morning, it may be a slow process in some areas. We'll start to thin that visibility out to partly cloudy skies this afternoon, and then this evening should be pretty nice, but that dense fog advisory in place this morning for many counties until 9 o'clock. Once we get rid of the fog, we'll have partly sunny skies in most of central Indiana. This rain will stay off. The clouds may linger a little bit longer in northern locations for you throughout the day today, which has been a pretty consistent theme with the exception of yesterday with everybody getting into sunshine. But northern locations this week earlier had a lot of rain. There's been no rain down to the south. Southern locations today enjoy more in the way of sunshine, and as a result, temperatures will be a little bit warmer. We're in the mid to upper 70s for highs today in northern locations and around the metro area with partly cloudy skies, anywhere from 77 in Noblesville to 84 in Martinsville, where we have more in the way of sunshine throughout the entire day today. Temperatures will be in the mid 80s from Bloomington to Columbus over towards the Seymour area. This evening, temperatures fall back down into the 70s with partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then for the day tomorrow, probably not quite as much in the way of sunshine. Will be partly to mostly cloudy for your Friday. Temperatures a little bit cooler in the upper 70s. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, heading into the weekend, we do bring some spotty showers into the forecast on Saturday, and they could linger into Sunday morning. But at this point, the timing looks like it's going to be during the non-daylight hours. So you can carry on with any plans that you may have. And we're not expecting a lot in the way of rain. But then as we head into next week, beautiful stretch of weather, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, lots of sunshine, lows in the 50s. High temperatures will be in the 80-degree range, but this morning our concern, Nicole, continues to be that fog.
Yeah, Todd, you can see the fog right here in this shot in our live INDOT traffic camera this morning. I-70 at Sherman Drive on the east side where traffic is picking up here. You can see it's a bit foggy here from this view, but the good news is no crashes or delays to report at this hour. It's 6:52. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. A foggy start across central Indiana is causing a few school delays this morning. Jay Community Schools, Westdale Schools, and Daleville Schools are all on a 2-hour delay. You can keep track of school delays by downloading the WRTV app. Now let's take a live look outside this morning at our INDOT traffic camera. This is I-65 at Washington Street, where you can see it is foggy here, Raphael, and this is something you'll want to give yourself a little extra time as you head out the door.
And Nicole, here's a live look toward downtown Indianapolis. When we began this newscast this morning, the fog initially was a problem just north of Indianapolis, but boy, have things quickly changed. Todd Clausen, you are tracking fog throughout central Indiana.
Yeah, and you can't even see the skyline there in that downtown shot. This dense fog advisory in place till 8, 9 o'clock, depending where you are. But I think it's probably going to last a little bit longer than that, with sunrise now not until about 7:20 this morning. Here are your visibilities. Again, a lot of locations down below 1 mile. Give yourself some extra time on the roadways. Use those low beams and slow down. Once we get into the afternoon hours today, we'll start to see more in the way of sunshine, 82 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny, 77. And then as we continue into the weekend, there's the chance of a spot storm on Saturday night into Sunday. Not looking at a lot in the way of rainfall. And then next week looks pretty nice with comfortable temperatures overnight in the 50s and then 70s and 80s for highs. But our immediate concern again this morning is going to be the roadways with this this dense fog that'll probably linger. It's about 9-10 o'clock in many locations.
Todd, thank you. We are back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.